Hello there, welcome to episode 3 of my tutorial series for Necesse 1.0. In this one, we're going to go over the basics of automation. We're going to be talking about how to automate jobs on workbenches. We're going to be automating storage box sorting systems in a very simple and accessible way. And I'm going to introduce the party and zoning system to some degree. The city has grown a little bit between the episodes. I've built up a couple of new buildings, so we have room for expansion. Speaking about expansion, I have hired a blacksmith, so we have now somebody in town that we could buy items from and sell items to. But we're going to go over that later when we party up with Ibiza or somebody else. We'll see about that. So the first part of today's video is about automating processes on workbenches. So the very first thing that you probably want to have automated is the whole smelting business, because that's just really tedious at some point. So here, this one is already added to the colony. Let's remove that for the sake of completion. So here, this is how it looks like when you start out. You can also remove a workstation from the colony like this. Once you click the greenhouse icon, the workbench in question is accessible to all colonists. We want this forge to smelt down any of the ores that we pick up and also the tools, and we're going to configure it like that. If you have ever played RimWorld, this will be very familiar to you and very easy to configure, but I will be assuming that you don't. Now then, we want to smelter iron, copper, and gold here. So we're going to go over each of these icons once. Some of these are in here double, because one recipe is for iron ore and the other one is for the broken tools that we pilfer. So you just add in any of the recipes in question once, like this. So now we have all of these in there. I'll be leaving out the ores and things that we don't have accessible right now, because why configure if we don't have it yet? You could, though, if you wanted to. So we don't want to live under the conditions here. Currently, the people in the colony would try to fulfill these orders until an amount of 10 iron bars is fulfilled. This is one pretty good one that you can use for several occasions, but here we want to work different. So we press the cogwheel and we select do forever, because at the end of the day, I don't want any ore or broken tools left over here in my chests, because nobody really needs that. So here goes. We got all that. Now, all it now takes is a container that has any of the ingredients available in here, and the people will work automatically on that. But before we do that, I want to add in another extra here, because honestly, one forge is hardly going to cut it. So we're going to pick up 3 of these, because I feel a little bit megalomaniac today. So we're putting these up, and now you don't need to bring up the whole procedure 2 other times. You just click here on copy, and then you can just paste it down like this, and work order goes over to the next workstations, just like that. We can copy also single work orders out of the list if you don't want to go for the entire thing. People will now automatically fuel these. You don't need to worry about that. There needs to be fuel available, though, for that to happen. So now let's drop down some ore and some broken tools into our box here. I procured these down below, and yeah, let's see. It'll now take a moment for your folks to go for that. You can configure at the work priorities what they're supposed to do. So let's tell Ibiza that she's supposed to have a higher priority on crafting, because, you know, she's the blacksmith after all. And now she's supposedly going to do that. Here, you can even hover them. Crafting, bar, add forge. Picking up stuff. And from here on out, you don't need to worry about these things manually anymore. This can be done for every workbench. Every workbench can be added into the settlement like this, and any item craftable there can be then ordered like this. This way you could also say, craft me Let's go for something more specific. So we have a thing here. Craft me 100 stone walls at any time at any given time. This way we have always building materials available and we don't need to craft them ourselves. At the end of the day, here your creativity is really the limit. I'll leave it up to you. The configuration of the forge and everything I've shown you here is basically all you need to know to get the ball rolling. Mind you though that my logistics here aren't ideal. Ideally you would want to have the ores in question and such in a chest in the vicinity of the forges. Here poor Abitha is running quite a lot back and forth without being quite too efficient. I'll leave it up to you. Here I just wanted to configure it. As a last word at this point though, you don't need to worry too much about efficiency in Necesse, unless you want to, you know? It's a sandbox game after all, I keep repeating myself. Play it the way you want to, and if you want to industrialize hardcore, go for it. I mean, at the end of the day, we are here to have fun, right? So, that ends the part how we automate at workbenches. I think that is pretty simple. Now we want to go for automatic sorting, because nearby inventories can be accessed like this at workbenches, and the army of chests that you see here is meant to store the items for me that I can easily craft them. Here we have a storage container that is already pretty much spilling over because there's a little bit of everything in there, even weaponry and such that we don't need anymore. So we're going to go and configure like that. So when you go here into the cogwheel menu, you see here all the items that the container currently accepts, everything in game, and at which priority this container is supposedly accepting these items. You can configure higher or lower priorities. We're going to take advantage of that in a minute if it's pretty confusing to you. Promise, in a minute it won't be. And we can also tell the container to only have a certain amount of items. We can change these. This is situational. I'll be talking about that when we have a good moment for that. This container can stay like that, except for one thing. I want to have this one on a low priority. You could even go for last priority or lower priority, but this is okay for now. What this will do is that if there is any container around town that has the requested items, or the items allowed in there now, let's put it like that. So if now any item is configured in this chest, people will now put it into this one because this chest is less important than that one. So somebody will at some point say, we're going to sort this one from the low priority chest into the high normal priority chest. So this is how it's going to work. Now, to configure this thing more easily, we're going to go and use the search bar for bars. So this is one thing that we're going to go here. So we're going to insert all the bars. I checkmark this one here. And now that's that. We are going to go now and rename this into metal bars. By the way, this can also be, if you shift left click, be added in with icons. Everything you shift left click can be put into the bar here, as long as the cursor thingy is blinking in there. Many thanks to the comment section clearing me out about the icon thing. I didn't know that. So when we press escape now and we mouse over this thing, you see that this container now has a clear labeling of what's supposed to be in here. And henceforth, our folks will sort their metal bars into this container, because when they go out here, Abitha will now check the containers. Normal priority bars goes in here, and she's not going to look at this one because her inventory is already empty. I hope I have now clarified this sorting system clearly enough. So when you now go for other things, you can now go for various sorting points. At the end of the day, how you sort your inventory in your colony is up to you. But I would really recommend you to go for something. So here we go. Let's accept logs in here. I really find it extremely helpful to name these things in some degree. Let's go for saplings. And here I'm going to add in seeds as well, because I find saplings and seeds are going well together. Here we go. Seeds, saplings, and so on and so forth. So let's go for another nice little trick that I find extremely cool here. So you can, here with these icons, restock, here, transfer all to storage. This way you can transfer everything. Obviously, that was not what I wanted. So, dang it. I need to look these up. You can quickly store items into the boxes. Let me see. Sorry for the interruption. I had a brain lag here. So now, if you have any items in your inventory that are found in chests around you, you can just use the quick stack to nearby storage button and they disappear. Everything that is around in the boxes around you can be sorted in there. All you now need is to just have a system that has all the items in the box, and eventually you can just go into your room, press that button down there, and you just have everything sorted in. It's pretty amazing. One category that I want to showcase here is the category drops, because here you will also have animal items like wool and leather. Very important thing. I don't know why the game labeled it drops, but you know, at some point labelings in this game are always a little bit weird. So to round things up, less obvious things, I like to have a chest for trinkets, because this game really has a lot of trinkets and we can craft with trinkets. Therefore, this is really something that you want to have. You want to have at least a chest for weapons and one for armor. I really find that extremely useful, because there's just a lot of gear that you can and will use. You can use different sets in this game and will use different sets in this game, because you are pretty much what you wear, and therefore weapons, trinkets, and armor are really categories that will help you out a lot. What's left is food could also go in here. You can I would dare say, though, that food should also be stored somewhere else, but we're going to go over finer foods in future episodes, because food is part of the buff things and therefore pretty useful and handy. Okay, let's sleep through the rest of the night, and I think how to sort these boxes should be at this point pretty clear. One last thing though, you've seen that I am now using only low and normal priority to sort things. Technically, we can here bring in lots of different layers to facilitate various different things. We could, for example, put in a chest into every house, put it onto highest priority, and tell it to only store one item of a certain kind. You know, we can here max total items. You let it only store, let's say, apples, and tell it to only store 5 apples. Just like that, you've created a food container for a specific person. What I also want to point out here, a quick thing, zones. So when you go for restrict in the colony menu and create a new area, you can now, where is it? There. Here. Once you click the cogwheel, you can now drag and drop the area. And with this, we can confine a person to a certain spot. This can be useful once your city grows substantially larger, when, for example, we want to make sure that the blacksmith is not foraging miles away from their home. At the beginning of the game, you can pretty much leave everything by default and then no bad things will happen. And to be quite honest, it really depends on your desire to micromanage and configure the efficiency of your colony. Everything in Necesse works quite decently if you just let it go like that. Oh, here, by the way, rope. I bought that from an exotic goods trader. You just select it, right click it, and this is fence and fence door. And just like that, right click the sheep again. You can get yourself your own livestock. I highly recommend to catch the sheep in the neighborhood. Take care to have a sheep and a ram, and just like that, you can eventually breed them. This is going to happen in a different episode. I just wanted to show you in an early episode how to catch animals. Okay, so partying. Before we do any partying up, one very, very nice little trick. The village elder, when he gives you a quest, he always shows you that. You click back and you get into the bigger menu. I want to buy something. This guy sells revival potions. Revival potions are what you need if somebody dies during your adventures. When you right click a person, you can tell them to join your adventure party. Once you do that, you go into the adventure party menu. You can access that outside as well. And here, pretty important things. Buff potions, I'll leave that up to you. I would personally prefer this setting, because this way when I buff myself, the other party buffs themselves too. But party inventory is very important. If you bring your people, always bring food, bring some health potions for them, and the revival potion needs to be around us. But as you can see, this can't be inserted here. This is for reviving when things go bad. What's also always handy to have are recall scrolls, but sadly I don't have any yet. I'm quite surprised I haven't found any, but recall scrolls are just town portal scrolls that let you teleport back. So, when you have somebody in your adventuring party, you can equip them. By default, they always come with a weapon. Extra armor makes them sturdier, but now as you see there, dude's just walking with me. Or dudette, I'm sorry. And this is what you can use to beat up bosses. And once you have this person here with you, they will fight with you alongside. If you now go down below, you'll have a fighter with you. You can equip them with weapons like you can be equipped. Overall, this way you can pretty much be a minion master, sort of, or your adventuring party. They're not that smart though. They'll attack everything around you, so you better be ready to beat up everything where you go there. They are super handy for boss fights though, and this is what we're going to go over in next episode, when we're going to ready ourselves up for the boss fight and hopefully beat up the first one as well. So for now, we're going to just tell her to leave our adventuring party, and that's that. Regularly, you can access the adventure party here with X, and yeah, you can then select your party also to command them around. I usually leave them on auto though, because I really don't have the nerve to control them. I played like that, or well, I leave it up to the wisdom of the comment section if they know how you can control them more intricately, because I actually don't know. All right, so this is for today all I wanted to talk about. We're going to go next time over all the different things that we want to prepare for a boss fight. And yeah, if you have any questions left open about these topics, oh yeah, there's one more box that I really like to have, and that's walls and building parts. Now I finally know what I forgot so quickly, to the log chest. Yeah. As per usual, leave me your comments, leave questions, whatever you have on your mind. Many thanks for all the attention and friendly words so far. I really enjoy making this series. And yeah, I hope this helps you out. So last thing before I leave here. Walls and doors. This is a very useful section to have. Alrighty, so like I said, leave your comments, leave a like, leave a subscribe, consider donating via Ko-fi or any other given means down below. I'm super grateful for all the help that I get. And a lot of thanks to all the supporters, and a lot of thanks for watching this video up until the very end. Appreciate you taking that time, and see you on the next one.